forward to the cloud. Good morning and welcome to Sunday Morning Grace. Finally, for anybody who was waiting to join us live. This is Sunday, November 14th. I'm Reverend Marianne, joined by my wonderful friend, colleague, partner in crime, Reverend Jamie. And this Sunday Morning Grace.
Tested our grace this morning. This Sunday has.
We're coming to you. Most of you will be watching us afterwards because we had to just default to a recording. After 20 minutes or so, we're trying to get on Facebook. We realized the problem wasn't us. It must be Facebook because neither one of us could get in. And we were both running into the same problem on both the Living with the Angels and the Divine Order of the Sacred Rose page. So we apologize for anybody who may have been sitting and waiting for us. But here we are. You'll get our gems of wisdom.
Yes. Better late than never.
That's right. That's right. So good morning, Jamie.
Good morning. I love everything the way this morning has transpired, though. I won't go too deep. I'll save it for our actual topic because it's just so perfect.
It is. So before we get started, as we always do, let's just do a quick opening blessing so that we can merge and share our energies, as well as just putting ourselves in the right place to listen to the message that comes through the angels and through the divine. So as you're able, close your eyes, relax, just let go of anything that's tense in your body. I'm finding that my shoulders are tense today, so just wiggle them out, whatever you need to do to just kind of be comfortable in your space. And as best you can, just let go of everything that has transpired up until this moment. Maybe it was a rough start to the day. Maybe it was a great start to the day and life threw a little curveball at you, whatever. Maybe you're just having a marvelous day, in which case embrace that. And just in your mind's eye, see this beautiful ball of light. And as that ball of light is moving closer to you, it looks like it's going to come right in through that third eye, right in through between the two physical eyes. And as it gets closer, you're feeling how warm it is. And allow that bright light to settle within you. And feel the warmth begin to move down through your face, through your shoulders, your fingers. Wiggle your fingers and really welcome that warmth. And let it flow down through your belly, through your legs, through your toes. And as it's warming your toes, wiggle those toes. Feel it emanate from your toes and into the ground below you, into the floor, the carpet, whatever is below your feet. And feel it drawing you into the earth. Feel it making you one with that earth. You are one with Mother Earth. You are grounded. You are solidly placed where you are. And yet you are warm and you are glowing from inside right out. And allow that feeling to stay within you as you go about the remainder of your day, as you go about your evening and your night, and as you sleep. And tomorrow morning when you wake up, remember that ball of light is still within you. And you're going to carry that with you always. You always did, and you always will. You just have to remember it's there. And anytime you feel that your inner light is dulling, go through this exercise again and just restart the light within you. Take a deep breath in. Remember how magnificent you are as you let that breath go. And let's settle in to discuss the inner desire for growth. Blessed be.
That's beautiful. I'm so glad you brought the warmth in, because what you may have not noticed if your eyes were closed was I was grabbing, my office is so freaking cold. And the closest thing I had was one of my like head scarves. So I was like grabbed it, and thankfully they're big. So I made myself a blanket with it. But I
Well,
was like, oh yay, the warmth. I will take that.
and I love that physical image that I was given for that inner, that desire and grounding and that warmth and that light that emanates from us. Because I think I needed that, because the way my day started, I didn't, my light was dull. My light needed to be restarted.
Well, and I think that's so important to acknowledge, when we do talk about, especially, in the word, like, I love the words of this topic: nurturing inner desire, growth, and because sometimes we may want to grow, but we don't want to do the work to grow. So to have that, to be able to be transparent, and my light was dull. Like, I just think that's such a pivotal part of honoring all the processes when it comes to, some days it's just harder. Some days we just don't want to, right? I don't want to do any inner growth. I'm tired of it. I just want to go be normal and live that normal life and not be sensitive to energies and be aware and, and it just doesn't work that way for us, which is a beautiful thing. It really is a beautiful thing. But I love, again, just the transparency and the honesty of, like, my life was dull. Because I think it's really important to acknowledge everywhere we are, especially as we do feel that desire, and we genuinely do want to do, the nurturing, so we can go deeper inside and we can grow. And but in that, I find that especially people newer to a more spiritual based walk think they have to be happy all the time, and if they're not happy, they're not doing something right. And that's just not true, because regardless, we are humans in this body, and we have experiences, we have emotions. Emotions can be beautiful things, even though they might not always feel good. Once we get to the space that we can observe them more than actually think we are them, there's so much wisdom in our emotions. And even for me this morning, I was ready to go. I knew Marianne had something going down or not going down at her house. And she was running, she said, I'm going to be a little late. I have this thing. And I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting here just, chilling out. And I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to be really prepared. I had everything ready to go. So all Marianne had to do was just me and her, we like to take a few moments just to connect and get our energy in with each other, extra hand in for these. And all I had to do was just hit the button. And I hit the button. Nothing. I hit the button again. Nothing. So after several attempts, and then Marianne tried to hit the button. For me, and I'm sure many others, I dance with patience being my strong spot. I normally just want to, like, just boom. And for those in human design world or who are familiar, I'm a manifesting generator. Right? I like to go, 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 go. And I always have, just a plan so I can get things done the quickest way. And then I feel like I'll be free to, go ride a horse down the beach or something. I don't know what this fantasy is, but it's there that, like, I'll have all this time to just do nothing, which that doesn't happen either. But in that, so it was, even I was giggling because I was like, wow, like, I am doing pretty good on the inner growth around patience, because it was just like, what, like, it's all good, and it'll be what it'll be. But even in that, when we are doing the, that when we have this, things come up that I have a word trying to come, and that's why I'm fumbling, but it's not clear to me. So I'm sorry. I just keep trying to say a word that I'm not clear on yet. But anywho, in that, sometimes it does take patience, and it takes compassion, and it takes kindness with ourselves. I've personally been especially this past week, like, it's been a little extra intense on my side with really reworking patterns. and it's not fun. And I'm just like, at times I just want to be like, no, you know what, forget it, I'll do it later. Like I don't even feel like focusing on this, I don't have time for it. And I kind of had one of those moments, and the universe was like, oh, no, 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 like you committed yourself to this, and we're going to see it through. So these patterns I was trying to or I wanted to rewrite, but then once I got into it, I was like, no, I don't have time for this right now. And it's like the universe was like, oh, sure you do. So it like brought these patterns in through you know, some of my work, my interactions with people. And it was, you know, so so in that, you know, but that's the things that I've been getting with myself. It's like, oh wait, this is actually a repeating pattern, because some things that come up, and on my end, my immediate responses, you know, were not compassionate. I mean, inside my immediate thoughts to things that were happening, they were not as compassionate and as kind as they could and should be. So I was like, wait a minute, let me pull myself back here a minute, because like something, it's not other people, like this is me. There's a reason why, and I'm the one being reactive and defensive and wanting to be responsive in a way that just was not compassionate and loving. I'm so sorry, my sinuses. Even in that, right? I've been having throat stuff because I'm clearing.
And I'm ready to hand you.
I know. Thank you. I'm
the
telling
water's
you.
behind you.
Yeah, right. I am so sorry for that. But you know, but even in that, right? I'm clearing so much on my throat and the way I speak, and speaking with compassion and kindness. I've been having these interactions that are taking me deeper in my growth, to show me that things I thought I cleared, I didn't, you know, or there's just more layers. I've done some of the work, but I haven't done all of the work. And I mean, I really, do we ever get done all the work? You know, but so in that, you know, I had to pause and stop and see, like, wait a minute, what's the pattern? It's the pattern I've been working on. Okay. You know, but what's really underneath, you know, underneath all of this? And it, you know, for me, it was this thing of like not feeling appreciated, not feeling seen, not feeling heard. And because I do a lot of things, we all do, you know. So, but just, you know, in my experience, like I felt like I was doing all these things and trying to make sure that everybody's good and taken care of. And it felt like complaint central coming in. And I'm like, you know, everybody's so unhappy. But it was my own fear of failure as well, fear of failing my people, you know. And I know I know happiness is an inside job. But in some of the work I do, you know, people are really, you know, they're doing transformative work. And I, you know, I pride myself on being able to hold a space for them and have a space for them that, you know, it's at least, it's just full of love and compassion, and it's safe. And they, you know, it's okay if they fall and hit the floor or bump into a wall, because it's nice and, you know, cushioned, and not the padded and the not good mental way. But, you know, it's just, it's love. It's soft. It's, and it just didn't feel like they were having that experience. So when, you know, people were letting me know, which I love that they let me know, because then I have something to work from. But I didn't take it that way. I took it that I wasn't appreciated and I wasn't seen. And I, you know, it was just like, whatever. But then when I sat with it, underneath that was, I have this fear of failing my people, right? Because I don't want them to be, I want, you know, and that's also not the way life works. I want them to have, you know, at least the most painless process as possible. I want them to feel loved and supported. And sometimes it is part of their story as well. But I love the mirroring, because the exact same way that some of these people were feeling is how I was feeling as well when they came to me. And then it also brought the question, which you had even said, you know, earlier, Marianne, like, is it mine? You know, is this really mine, or is it theirs? Now, in my case, most of it, yes, it was mine, because they were being a mirror for me. But you know, there were a couple cases where I was like, you know what, actually, this is a pattern that plays out, you know, and like, that's okay. They're getting it. And how can I, you know, but again, I can't be responsive, like pull back and meet them with compassion, so that I'm able to show, you know, other perspectives and possibilities in the way that they can look at things. All that to say that, you know, just when we do go deeper in that inner work, so we can really do the growth, we can have lots of teachers come forward. So, you know, holding that patience, that compassion, that acceptance. And if you find yourself, you know, again, we're human. If something drops on our toe, we might say a colorful word and be like, oh, you know, and like, oh man, like not right now. Like, I don't have time for this right now because literally I have to be somewhere in 5 minutes, and now I have to go fix this thing that cannot be ignored. And right, so when we have those moments, seeing how responsive we are is also a really good gauge and barometer of like, okay, where are we out of alignment, that the desire may be fueled by maybe the not so fun flames of growth versus like, what, like this is really teaching me. And again, we can be in that place of compassion. And I hope that made sense, because I have so many things flowing into my head on this topic but I'm going to stop it there.
It did. It made a lot of sense. And, and you brought up several points that I love. The first is nurturing. And nurturing, when I think of nurturing, it's what we do as mothers, what we do, and not just as a mother, but as a parent. And anybody who has that parental, maternal, paternal warmth within them. To nurture, to me, means to help, to foster growth, to foster acceptance. And then the inner desire is what we're trying to achieve. And growth is really what we're trying to achieve. So for me, when I first started thinking about this topic, I was originally thinking about, wow, with my life being so crazy right now, I'm not doing anything to nurture my inner desire for growth, because I don't have time to read. I don't have time to kind of get involved in classes. And, I am doing one class, and then I stopped and I was like, you silly girl. Life is actually fostering that inner desire for growth. And it's when you accept it and when you look at where you're at and the challenges that we're going through in life, and we recognize them as teaching tools. And we recognize the people who bring those challenges to us as our teachers. And we thank them for that. And we don't like, oh, that's so-and-so, they're always pushing me out of my comfort zone. Or why do they always have to ask me to do something at the last minute? Or why does something go on with my daughter as I'm getting ready to do something for me, or a commitment I've made? And when I take a step back, I go, okay, deep breath, all happening for a reason. I'm growing. I'm growing to be the best version of me. And right now, I am the best version of me right now. Next week, that version of me may shift, because the lessons that come to me just through going through my everyday life over the next several days. So part of nurturing that inner desire for growth is to always be aware that we want that growth. And to recognizing that growth comes not necessarily from the books and not necessarily from the things we're reading. Yes, that's one way. But more often than not, it's through those life experiences that we have absolutely no control over. And those teachers that show up to pound that lesson into us until we finally get it, over and over and over. So deep breath. When you're feeling most stressed and most challenged, turn around and say, okay, what is this trying to teach me? And what is the lesson? Let me learn it so I can finally get beyond it. And then move on to something else. And then we grow further.
And I just have to add in there very, very quickly that I love how, like, even though you had this problem solved or come up right before and you solved it rapid speed to be here, the universe still said, nah, not yet. We're not. That's cool. I'm glad you made it. And I'm glad you're here nice and safe. But nah, not yet. Go throw a little something else. I remind myself, divine time, not my time.
Yes. The universe's time. That feels complete.
Yeah.
We threw a lot into a very short time, and what I would like to encourage people to do as they're watching this video is, what have your greatest life lessons been?
Mhm.
What growth, and maybe you didn't recognize it was a life lesson as it was happening.
Mhm.
So think about some of your greatest challenges. What did you learn about yourself and about moving forward? And it may simply have been, I didn't like the way I responded to that. I've
Mhm.
had lots of those moments where I walk away and go, that was not my finest moment.
Mm-mm. I'm saying because I'm like I have had that same thought. I'm like like that was not. Yeah, that's why even like I say, just the way like I have not had like I did not like the way my mind was just going so quick to just lack
Mhm.
compassion and just feel like, oh my gosh, they, like I didn't like that. So that those experiences nurturing that desire for inner growth because I don't want to be that person. I know better, but I also know like I don't want to be that person. I think sometimes people can feel like, they're not in alignment. It's where they are in their life at the moment. Same, I think it's cool to be the a-hole or to be the, I'll say it. You can still say it, but you can also say it with compassion and grace. And that's always kind of like a little personal dance that I do because there are times I don't mind speaking up, but again, easing the defensive energy behind it or even the need, thankfully I've outgrown this overall, but I still catch myself. It's not even the need to be right, but if I just feel very convicted about something, it can be hard for me to not understand why other people don't see it the way I do, which is beautiful because we need different
Yeah,
perspectives on things.
the yin and the
But
yang.
yeah, but it's like I would just get so frustrated. Like, why don't you just get this? Why can't they get it? They're not? First of all, why is it my business if it's not causing me or my family harm or you know what I mean? And then it's like, because it's just not. They're not meant to, and that's okay. So you go work on yourself while you're so upset about that, and
Mhm.
let them be.
That's right. So let's hear from you, and let's continue the discussion as we go in the thread.
Yeah.
All right. We ready to move on to tenants?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm putting the tenants up for us. Just a quick reminder that Reverends Carolyn and Dawn will be with you next week to continue the discussion. And then the week after is the Sunday of Thanksgiving. And so we will just have there won't be a formal live Sunday morning grace. We will just watch the page for a little Thanksgiving message, a little Thanksgiving thought.
I love it. I love it.
And I did pull my stone before we started. And today's message was absolutely perfect. I live in partnership with my angels.
Oh, I love
And
that.
today of all days, I needed to be in partnership.
Yeah. And of course, after my big checkup, I listened to the spiritual messages within my physical body. No surprise. Like I say, I've been, yes.
So,
Yes.
and I know not everyone has these beautiful stones, but you can always just kind of do one of these things where you close your eyes and just kind of pick a tenet or just choose one of your own for the week. So whatever it is, you can always do the same thing and pick a tenet for the day or one for the week. However, whatever is calling your soul. So I encourage you to use these 12 tenets to your advantage as well, and to allow them to settle in to you and be part of who you are. And with that, Jamie, take us away.
All right. So just inviting you to close your eyes if it feels right. Place your hand over your heart. And really allow these tenets to just fill your cells and fill your being. And again, allowing yourself to listen if there's one that speaks out for you the most to work with this week. I open my heart with deep gratitude and intend today to master my spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical energies. I am dedicated to my spiritual practice. I surrender to my soul's purpose through sacred prayer. I own my guidance.
I live in partnership with my angels. I serve with a loving heart. I am compassionate in every moment.
I trust it's all good. I allow immediate forgiveness. I honor my truth.
I listen to the spiritual messages within my physical body. I express myself creatively. I am one with Mother Earth. And so it is.
And so it is. And as we walk forward, starting this beautiful new day, this beautiful new week, we ask that may we see through God's love, loving eyes. May we speak words with the divine's tongue. May our hearts be full of love. And as we step forward, may we walk forward with each step, leaving a legacy of love everywhere we go. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Thank you, my love.
Thank you.
May have had a rocky start, but
We got
finished
through.
strong.
Yes.
thank all
The
of
one thing
you.
I love is you get the realness with me and Marianne through our Sunday morning graces, because here we are.
Thank you all, and we will see you next month. And in the meantime, let us know if we can be of service to you.
Yes, thank you.